Hey guys, welcome back to the BuzWeaver channel, and in our top stories today from Axios, what to know about counter-protesters to Trump's June 14th parade. That's right, it's Donald Trump's birthday, as well as the Army's birthday and Flag Day. So in a act of defiance, which is, the resistance of the left, they are going to protest throughout the United States. Of course, we already know they're already... there's a lot of activity going on in California, L.A., the Paramount area. Of course, we already know this. So protesters are taking to the streets and community hubs nationwide on Saturday in what organizers expect will be the largest single-day anti-Trump protest rally since the start of his second administration, because they did it all through his first. Why it matters. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's see why Axios says it matters. The widespread movement will run counter to Trump's multi-million-dollar military parade in D.C. I think said he paid for some of it himself. No Kings is a nationwide day of defiance. Well, they defy and rebel each day, organizers wrote. From city blocks to small towns, from courthouse steps to community parks, we're taking action to reject authoritarianism. Well, where were they during COVID when Joe Biden said, take the jab or lose your job? More than 100 pro-democracy advocacy groups, advocacy groups are preparing to organize the No Kings events. What they're saying, Donald Trump wants tanks in the streets and made-for-TV display of dominance for his birthday, the No Kings website said. Of course, they're going to sensationalize and exaggerate everything. But, he just wants a little bit of recognition for the United States. Other countries do these things or have recognition of their own countries. They're able to be patriotic in other countries. Apparently in the United States, where we're not allowed to be patriotic and to appreciate and value our country, to have allegiances and to have loyalty to our country. A spectacle meant to look like strength, but real power isn't staged in Washington. It rises up everywhere else. Oh, is that right? So just acts of defiance and rebellion, right? Just a perpetual act of defiance. The latest. So Trump on Tuesday said that any protests during Saturday's parade would be met with very big force. So it's going to be interesting how that will be addressed. Of course, they like this tension, right? They like the back and forth. They like to appear as though they're victims, right? They like to appear as though they're righteous and that they're doing things to help the country because we're oppressed, right? Because the fact that Donald Trump is there in their worldview, of course, it's ideological. There isn't any, as we always say here, there's no switch that's been flipped that suddenly makes them the target of oppression. By the numbers, millions of people are estimated to protest in more than 1,800 rallies across all 50 states and Commonwealth, including Puerto Rico, organizers said. Puerto Rico, okay. Some international rallies are also planned, all right. So context, Trump proposed a military parade on his 79th birthday and the U.S. Army's 250th anniversary, as well as it being Flag Day. The Army predicts it will spend $25 to $45 million on the plan, an estimate that doesn't include the Secret Service law enforcement, as though that's a major big deal, right? I mean, should we tell them how much money has been sent to Ukraine and equipment and supplies and repurposed equipment and everything we sent over there? So see, ladies and gentlemen, it's always a one-sided story sometimes. Now, it could be the right, left, or bias. I have my own bias, so I have my own story too. You can see there was a better map that Depressed Ginger had, a commentator that I follow, and I couldn't find that map. It was on New York Times, but I couldn't find it. From USA Today, when is Trump's military parade? That's going to be on June 14th, in case anyone did not know. And then, of course, the streets of central D.C. are soon to be filled with thousands of soldiers, massive tanks and artillery, and the choreographic rumble of vintage warplanes and sleek Blackhawks flying overhead. What's wrong with any of that? I mean, they're celebrating the Army's birthday. It's the president's birthday, and it's Flag Day. I mean, what could be more American than that? I mean, these people scream about democracy, but what they really mean is cultural, ideological authoritarianism democracy. We're a constitutional republic, right? The date also coincides with Trump's birthday. He'll be 79 years old. And then, of course, they have a few images here, and then here they're showing some offloads or loading of some of the vehicles here. So Bradley, that's a personnel character. That's a personnel carrier. I can't think of the name of it right off the top of my head right now, but nonetheless, suffices to say here we have some images of some of that on X. Of course, below this video, you can find the various social media links that I belong to, so make sure you avail yourselves of that. And of course, hit that like button if you're proud to be an American. I mean, seriously, how is this a thing that we that you can't be grateful and thankful and show allegiance and pride to your country. What sort of nonsense is this? This defiance, or I like to call it Patriots Day on July the 4th, Patriots Day. Heavy machinery being transported into D.C. today. Okay, so here we go. Here they are bringing in some display vehicles, military display vehicles. I just call them display vehicles because I'm just saying they're going to be there for display. June 14th is the day that President Trump will host a military parade. As we know, this is funky a town. Trump to host military parade. Somebody over here was, here we go. I like this image. I think it's really cool. I like the ambience of it. But this is from Beaver Cleaver. On Saturday, June 14th, Trump will have a large military parade dictator style in Washington, D.C., Kim Jong-un and Putin style parade, ladies and gentlemen, and many other American cities in all 50 states. I do like this image, though. Let's rain on Trump's parade. That's not very nice. Why are you going to mess up his parade? I'm proud to announce that we'll be hosting a magnificent parade to honor the United States Army 250th birthday on Saturday, June 14th in Washington, D.C. For 2.5 centuries, our brave soldiers have fought, bled, and died to keep us free, and now we will honor them with a wonderful parade. Well, what's wrong with that? Well, what's the big deal? Yeah, I know the optics of it all. Of course, this will just provide the left and the Democrats with maybe some additional fodder to use to promote their idea that Trump is a fascist and this sorts of thing and that and the other. But let me know down in the comments. I mean, this should be something we should be celebrating. And, of course, least anyone forget, next year will be America's 250th birthday because the military is 1 year older than the country. But, yeah, so next year we'll have an entire year. It's going to be taking place, I think, in Indiana, I believe it is, ladies and gentlemen, in Indiana. They're going to set up the different booths and stuff like that representing each state and things like that, kind of like Epcot. When you go to Epcot, you can go to the different areas of the country or the world there and go to the restaurants, things like that there at Epcot. I thought that was pretty cool when I went back in the day. Trump's 450 million parade will flood D.C. with tanks, planes, 18 miles of fencing, 18 miles of fencing, and 175 metal detectors. Okay. So, yeah, looking pretty interesting. Looking pretty interesting. There we go. Now we got some tanks going on over here. And, but, yeah, let me know down in the comments below. Are you looking forward to seeing the parade? Man, who doesn't like a parade, for crying out loud? But nonetheless, guys, thank you so much for your continued support. I'm looking forward to the parade myself. And, yeah, we're continuing to keep an eye on what's going on there in L.A. and California. But nonetheless, guys, thank you so much across New Tech. That's BitChute, Rumble, and Odyssey for your guys' continued support. Of course, you know, below this video, you can find the various social media links that I belong to. And those affiliate links do help out the channel. But, of course, your likes, your shares, and your comments help out just as much. And I do appreciate all of your guys' participation here in 2025. And appearing there on the screen, ladies and gentlemen, that'll be the icon for all of you watching on YouTube. So thanks to all you guys who watch on YouTube. You guys can click on that to subscribe, as well as to select notifications. That way you know when there's content here on the channel. And I'll see all you guys in the next video.